G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph Mayhew here, and today we're reviewing the XBotGo Chameleon. When the question is this the cheapest and the best way to use AI technology and your phone to record sporting events that you're at, or that your family's at, or that significant others at, that you want to capture, low cost, really effective? That's what we're going to get into today. So let's have a look inside the box. Look how snazzy this looks. Yeah, you can't really see it. Can you just like... All right, now you've had a look at it, I want to take it out of the box and talk to you about it. It comes with a remote control that can enable you to use all the functionality that you might use on your phone when it's plugged in whilst it's attached and ready to go. We'll have a look at this later on. Also comes with a little charging cable, and you can charge this while you use it if you want extra life out of it. So here is the device. The gimbal, if you'll recall, was like a pocket gimbal and really quite complex and tricky. This is really simple. It's one unit. On the bottom is a quarter 20, which enables you to mount it to any tripod base plate. You didn't know you were getting like today, did you? No, me neither. On top you have a cradle. The cradle will take any thickness of phone. Mine is a iPhone 15 Pro Max with a case, so it's as fat as they get, and it goes nicely in there. And then you have a screw on the back which enables the tightening and secureness of your phone to just lock in. Later on, when you turn on the app, it will show you how you mount this the right way, but you need to make sure that your phone cameras are pointing in the same direction as your Chameleon camera. Otherwise, you're going to be like confusing the whole unit. It's going to be like, what is going on? The unit has the capacity to pan left and right, which it does automatically, and to tilt down and up based on the motor that's built into here and determines this scope here. So it can track wherever your sport is happening. Basically with these, you set them up as closest to the center line as possible and as close to level as you can. And also things can get busy and hectic on a sideline, but you really want to be somewhere on the side so it can pan all the sport rather than have the sport coming toward it and away from it, because it will just get a little bit confused about what it should do. To turn it on, we press this little button and look, it glows. It's so cool. Oh, it's just sorted itself out. Has your battery indicator here, and you charge with the USB-C that plugs in here. You saw the cable before. You can use that or any other USB-C cable, and a battery or a power bank, or plug it into the mains, whatever suits you. We're going to use the XBotGo app today, which you download from the App Store. Once you've powered it up, it should automatically, providing your Bluetooth is on, recognize the unit and register the unit. If not, you can search for it using the app. So as you can see, I can add the remote here. So let's do that. Let's add the remote. I'm going to take the remote from here, turn on the remote. It glows blue and red. Registers right here. It's connected. So we go back to the device. That's my Chameleon. It's ready to go. So we go to device management, and here we are. Let's go yes, and I get to choose the sport that I want. So on the weekend, I'm going to shoot some soccer. So let's set this up via soccer, and then I'll show you how it actually performs at the soccer. We hit soccer there, and you can choose between any of those sports that you like, and then you can go next. Once you go next, you then choose whether you have a small field, a medium field, or a large field. It just gives you some sort of indicator there. You don't actually need to go and measure it, but it builds into the AI of what it can expect and how it should work. And then under 14s and over 14s based on the skill level and the movement, I imagine, of the people and the ball. So we're going to go over 14s. We'll plan on a large field, and I'm going to start recording. You're like, what does that mean, start recording? Hold on, not ready for it. Okay, so this is the point where we need to line up our phone, and you will notice I am a little bit off to the left. So I'm going to release this screw in the back, and then I'm going to shuffle it over a little bit, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is perfect. I've aligned the red block on the screen with the clamp on the gimbal to keep the phone centered on the gimbal. All right, it's all very high tech. I go my right arrow, and it tells me what I was saying before. This is the camera at the front, and this is why it needs to be registered where it's registered. That's how high you shoot. So on a 7x7 or 11x11 field, please raise the XBotGo on a tripod to a height of approximately 11.5 to 13 feet. That's 3 to 4 meters to ensure complete tracking. That is so high. Oh, right. All right, that's interesting. Let's fascinating. So if I'm shooting on a bigger field, I need it elevated high. How am I going to go 4 meters? That's going to be a challenge. And let's see what else it's got. On a 5x5 field, you're shooting about 1.3 to 1.8 meters. So I'm about 1.8 meters, so it's my height down to 1.3. So that's a smaller field. Click the red button to start auto recording, which we can in a moment. Click the start streaming, so you can stream this live, and you set that up by logging in, and then you can choose the platform by which you share it. I imagine there's an XBotGo link that you can then send it. On the top right hand corner, it says has 90% battery, and the remote control is pretty healthy as well, probably at 80%. Plenty of juice there. If I go over to the home button will take me back to where we are. I go to the record button just there, and I can, let's just for the interest's sake, let's select a different sport and see if that requires me. So I'm going to go under 14. Let's say we're playing with kids. Go start recording. We've got that ready. And how high does it say we should do? Oh, it doesn't. Oh, that's interesting. So you have to make a call for yourself based on the size of the field that you think. So if it's a full field, you'll need it really high. And if it's a smaller field, you can bring it down in its height. I think because it gets less perspective as it comes down, it needs less perspective if it's a smaller field. So if you're playing basketball, for example, you probably wouldn't need it really high. But if you're playing soccer on a big field, then you might need it really high for it to scan around. We'll have a look at this on the weekend. I'm also going to be reffing, so we'll see how this whole thing goes. Then I have scoreboard here. I can select my scoreboard, but you need to sign in to do that. It means you can keep track. So if you're watching and you're like, I want to keep score of what's going on, you can do it just via that. And then we get to choose our video resolution. They have a wonderful choice of video quality here. You must remember though, that the greater your video quality, the more memory it will take on your phone and more demand it will have on your phone. So you know your phone, you know its capabilities. You just need to keep that in mind. So I can go from everything from 720 HD, then I can go 1080p all the way up to 60 frames a second. If you're shooting sport, ideally you'd want to go a higher frame rate. It'll give a better quality result in the end. You can use PAL or NFTS. With video and all this sort of thing, I'd just recommend you don't need to worry about PAL, to be honest. But there might be some of you that are experts in this field, and if you do need to, put it in the comments below. And if you're wondering should you or not, head to the comments in below to see what people have shared. We can go all the way up to 4K 60. Now when you press 4K 60, it gives you a warning. It says for every minute it will take up 400 meg. So that's like for 2 minutes that's 800 meg. So for 4 minutes it's 1.6 gig. You see how it's like, so just be careful. You know how much space you've got on your phone and what you might be doing. If you're just wanting just like a good experience, you could actually, where would I go? I'd probably go down to, what's 4K 20? That's 270. 180. I'd probably go 180 at 60 frames a second, which is 90. And that seems like it's sensible. I can then choose my settings. So I can choose a maximum duration. So if I know the match is going to go for 45 minutes, I don't want it to cut off at 30 minutes. I'd rather go 60, or you can choose an other duration. So you might want to go 45 minutes, go done, and you're good to go. You might actually go, oh, it started a bit late, it's got a bit long, so you might choose 50 minutes or whatever. Just got to be smart about that. Screen auto dim, so it can dim down and be less of a distraction. Also means if you want to check how it's going, it might be more difficult to see. So good on the battery if you dim it down, good on the phone battery. So there's all these factors and variables that are particular to your scenario. So just keep that in mind as you go through. Timestamp settings, you can turn that on and off. I'll keep it on and I'll show you what that's like afterwards. Auto zoom, so it will zoom in. It'd be interesting to see how good the zoom is and whether the device tracks the ball or tracks the people or how it all keeps up. You'll be able to see that in just a minute. And auto tracking, I keep auto tracking on, so it's not sort of, I don't know, you'd have to go auto tracking. I don't know why you wouldn't. Now, depending on where your tripod is in relation to the field, you can then choose your maximum pan angles, and then you can choose your maximum pan speed. And what difference this makes is it goes like this, or, so again, personal style, depends what sport you're playing, how quickly the ball's moving, how quickly you want to keep other things in motion. I think I'd probably go about 75%, just about there, I reckon, for the sake of it. You go save current settings, and then you can hide all the icons and all the stuff. You can do that once it's turned on, so you know what you're doing, or you can have them all available for you, and then you just go record, and it records. And it's recording right now. Turn on the remote like this, and you select via this button what option you want. This one enables you to record the video through the gimbal. Then you might turn that off, and you can select a photo. You can take a photo with this, and once you take a photo, that's stored in the library of the XBotGo app. If we move on, you can pan and tilt to your heart's desire to get the phone exactly in the direction you want, and then you can perhaps go to here and press go on the video. Then finally, you can actually timestamp. So if something effective happens in a game and you're like, I want to capture that moment, you just hit your timestamp right here and you go, yes, register that timestamp, and it only works once the video is recording. But once it's recording, you then have a timestamp that is that goal or that special moment that you want to go back and visit quite easily. This, of course, links in with the idea of timestamps that you had to choose in your settings earlier on. All right, so let's get outside, watch some soccer and see how this performs. So you got to put your glasses on because you get old, you can't see anything. I know, it's so bad. You go to local files on the app, and the local files, you go to manage, select the video that you want and download it to your local photos and videos. Then you can transport it from there. I airdrop to my Mac, so I've done that. It takes just a couple of seconds regardless of how big the file. So this was a 45-minute file, as you saw in the settings, quite big, and here it is. I'm just going to load it up for you, and we're going to have a bit of a look and a talk about it. Straight away we realize it has audio. That's me, I'm umpiring. I'm just going to put a pause on that, and we're going to jump straight to the game. So let's just have a look at how it does it. So it's a guys soccer game. This was actually at the height of about 2 meters when it was fully up, and it's tracking okay. Now look at that, you see it zooms in and it pushes in, but not a huge amount, but it predicts where the ball's going to go. As you can see, the ball's over here at the moment. They're just wrestling. Incredible umpiring right in the middle there, and it zooms in. But here's what's interesting, it's predicting that this is the middle of the field rather than this being the middle of the field. Now the phone is just searching because there's no action, and they're all waiting for the ball. Ball is way out the back there. They've got the ball, so it's just having a look around, looking at all the people that came to watch and enjoy. Let's just fast forward to some more of the game. So you can see the ball's there. It does pretty well, doesn't it, to determine where the ball is and to pick it up. That's actually not bad. It's just the zoom is a bit disappointing because it focuses down rather off the post. That was so close. Rather than it focusing up. So yeah, it would be good. I'm not sure if I let me just go back right to the very start where I positioned it. Yeah, so I positioned it straight with the horizon, and it took a dip down. Just have a look at the horizon. So it does up and down a fair bit, but it seems to think that even when it's say there, that the game is happening in the middle. And you can see the extent to which it zooms in and not. Let's just turn the sound back on. So it just picks up the sound that's on the phone, and I'm actually pretty good. That's Sam Kerr coming on. Yeah, it's our own Sam Kerr. That's not the Sam Kerr you might think about if you love Australian football, but he made a difference in the game. It turned. Let me just fast forward. So this was half of the game, and you can see like it actually, let's track it as the ball comes. So the ball comes in front, it tracks the ball, moves with it. That's pretty good, isn't it? It's great, and you can actually set it up where you like. I'm not sure if I'd had it much higher, it would have been more helpful. As you can see, we're 16 minutes, 5 seconds, and like that's how deep we are into the footage. And obviously, if you shoot with a higher definition, so 4K and upwards, higher frame rate, you get a better quality. But also the challenge you have is it takes up much more space, which is harder to edit later on. It's hard to move it across. It's harder to do all those sort of things. That's pretty good, right? Quality's pretty good. I'm happy with that. What do you think? Will this be able to satisfy your needs that you have when it comes to shooting the sports that you really appreciate? Well, you are the one that knows the answer to that. But if you have any questions that I can answer, please let me know. I'll put a link at the end of this video to the XBot gimbal, which I've found that the Chameleon is much easier to set up. It's easier to carry around. The battery life's better. It just works so much better, and you have a remote control. So once it's up high or set up there, you can actually control what happens rather than actually having to fiddle around with it. And sometimes with the gimbal, when the gimbal loses Bluetooth connection, it just goes bonk. Whereas this just was seamless all the way through, fewer moving parts, and therefore a better quality, I reckon. So I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It's been great to have you on board. Just ticked past 15,000 subscribers on my birthday. Yeah, how good's that? If you're like, oh, it's your birthday, I missed, that's all good. If you want to grab me a coffee, I'm always keen for a coffee. And when I have a drink of that coffee that you pay for, I'm thinking of you and appreciating you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. That didn't take long, did it? Oh my gosh, it's been a while since we've got behind the camera, hasn't it?